Man, this game came out a while ago, and I'm just now getting around to it. Sad!
Place it, place it, place it, place it, place it, place it.
Welcome, my fellow wannabes, to my channel. As you may know, I am Gabriel Fast, and I am the Wannabe Critic. Today we're coming at you with a game review. We're going to be talking about what remains of Edith Finch. It's kind of been made fun of as a walking simulator because there's not a whole lot of gameplay. It's more of like a visual novel of you just kind of taking a tour through a story that somebody wanted to tell you, but it's through a first-person perspective. So, what remains of Edith Finch is from storytellers at Giant Sparrow. They do a lot of kind of in-depth storytelling with their games, very immersive. I'm just going to come out and say it and just kind of get right down to it, and I do have some gameplay that I want to show in a little bit. This game is beautiful. It looks beautiful. The colors and the way that they've crafted the world make it very believable and make it very close to home and kind of familiar. And you can relate to this game a lot. But I mean, the general premise, as I'm going to talk about later, is, you know, you're just kind of basically just learning about your family. Or not your family, but you're learning about Edith Finch's family, and just the mystery and the journey kind of getting there is, once you get to the end, you can't help but think about what you just went through. It's a very emotional charged story, and I mean, but this literally is one of those things where people literally said, hey, we have a story we want to tell. We don't necessarily want you to have to think about any gameplay mechanics or anything like that. The only gameplay mechanic is there's a puzzle every now and then, but it's a simple puzzle like, hey, just try and find how to get into the next room. So you're literally just taking a tour through the entire house, learning about all of these family members. I have a lot to say about it, so I want you to check out my gameplay really quick first before I go any further, and then we'll kind of talk about it after that. What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the most beautiful, crazy, conflicting, and depressing games I think I've ever played in my entire life. It tells the story of the Finch family, who, to my knowledge, have all died due to strange circumstances, or maybe it's the family curse that is talked about through the entire game. We're following Edith, we're playing as Edith, and she's learning about these things that have happened to her family that her mom never had the chance to tell, or just didn't want to. This game really surprised me with the way that it told its story, and the way it decided to tell certain parts of the story, and even kind of scared me at times. There's something really vaguely familiar, or I don't know if familiar is the right word, but relatable. I wasn't really expecting to relate to this game the way that I did in some areas. I don't know why, but those fishing poles, my dad's a fisherman, so I immediately got hints of just realness. There was a realness to this game that you could really relate to, and that does not leave the game the entire time. While the story is interesting, and I did really enjoy finding out what happened to Edith Finch's family, there was things that kind of bothered me that left me with a little bit more questions than I wanted to have. And it's one of those things that, you know, as somebody who tries to review things and be subjective, you can't have everything you want, and you can't have your cake and eat it too. But as an overall experience, the gameplay did its job, the story did its job, and I'm left with only one gripe, and that's with closure. So I say I'm conflicted because there's not a lot of closure for me at the end of this game, and it's hard to kind of talk about it without giving anything away, but there's little things that Edith is saying and it's narrating, like when the words come on screen. I watch a lot of anime. I don't really know how that applies to this. I guess I'll get to it in a second. Whenever somebody's talking and then the subtitles are matching up, that's like double the information you're getting rather than just listening to someone say something. So I pick up a lot of things, in the background. There's a lot of questions I had regarding the story and smaller parts of the story that seemed to be a really big deal, and they used as a plot device. And nothing drives me crazier than whenever you're right in the middle of a story and they're using exposition and they're using information to try and drive the plot and get you invested in it with little to no payoff. That kind of drives me nuts. And again, you know, I only have a limited time to talk about this game, but I could talk ad nauseum about how much that makes me mad. But it doesn't take away from the good things of this game, because I do think that this is a game that anyone who loves movies, anyone who loves reading books, anyone who loves a good emotional charged drama, or even people who just love their family, this is a great game to go through. I think it only took me about 2 hours to beat. It was a really simple study, you know, and I will be thinking about this game for a long time, which is kind of crazy whenever a game can make you think about your life in ways that you didn't really expect, and make you think about your family. I mean, it really touched me. I really, really liked it. It is flawed. I don't think it's perfect by any means or any stretch of the word, but it is a very, very well done, cinematic, emotional, and dramatic experience, still kind of shrouded in mystery. I wish I kind of had finality with the smaller things that are mentioned in the game, but I'm probably never going to get those. So you should play Edith Finch and let me know what you think. As far as a score goes, I thought about this a lot. I just beat this game last night. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's the first rating I've ever given anything on my channel so far. I really, really liked it. I wish it could have been just a skosh longer, and I wish it could have had just a dash more of finality rather than being so ambiguous towards the end with some of the smaller plot holes that you can kind of pick out. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a really great game. It's a really beautiful game. I think it'd be a good one to revisit every couple of years of life that you live and see how it stacks up then. So as always, if this is your first time here, please subscribe, comment, slap like. Let me know what you thought of this video. Give me some suggestions. I've been getting a lot of suggestions recently, and I'm really, really excited to talk about those when they're done. And, yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. As always, thank you for preparing yourself for a plethora of hot takes and potentially unpopular opinions. I'm Gabriel Fast, and I will always be the wannabe critic.